our analysts talked about this map in particular, Navi choosing to go to Skyscraper, a map that before this moment they've not played a lot of, and the results have been a little bit inconsistent, so confidence in the Navi camp must be high. Gibby, I'm excited to get into this one.
Well, it has to be high. You gotta be thinking that you're in it with a chance to win whenever you get this far. And what a map to get us up and running as we get stuck into the bans. The first one, look, I think we all have an idea what these are going to be. Well, I say that, but Maverick is gone, and Whippet. Maverick bans are going to be maybe a little bit more prevalent thanks to a little tweak that's been made to the damage of his gun lately.
An extended barrel on the Mavericks. Assault rifle now makes it a 2-shot to everyone bar 3 armor, so it's a little bit scary. A Monty getting banned out by Navi, and that means we're safe from any match point Monties that we've seen curse this map in the past. Taking that away again, Monty can take map control so efficiently here, it makes sense. And a bandit ban getting brought out by Navi. Not common, but again, you got to consider how areas like Geisha can get controlled effectively, and without that Maverick, it begins to get a little bit trickier to clear those batteries. Thatcher has made it through, so not necessarily the most impactful, but this seems a little bit targeted. As Secret will ponder and think about their final ban as it will arrive now. And any guesses before it sees? No, well, it's going to be a Solace, and not too surprised at all.
Yeah, Solace bans, we've seen the impact that Solace had in the other regional qualifiers. Just attacking win rates really fell off whenever Solace was in play. So now we're going to get up and running for game number 1. But things that are important is look at the operators who are not banned that teams will be able to use. Azami is, of course, a massive impact on a game, but Savage going to switch that over to Capcan as always. The minute we say something about an operator weapon, they're going to get switched out. It's just the way it works.
It is. If we get excited for any picks at all, someone's going to 6-pick away from it, or before we even get into the round. One thing that Canada will draw with the Solace ban and the unusual ban of that banned on the defensive side, that leaves a lot of those power operators that we tend to see banned in play. You've got a potential for a Mirror, that Azami that we saw flash earlier, and a Valkyrie. These are all options that are now available to Team Secret to bring on their defensive side. They are very impactful. We'll see Kayak 6-pick away onto that Torres. Well, that's going to be very useful to clear some of this extended roam presence utility before they even need to risk getting themselves into that building.
Yeah, you can clear utility, you can get intel. Flores is a very underrated operator at times, and I think on a site like this, it's a very good opportunity. Now, this is the point, Whippo, where you'd say that the Navi players are going to say it with me, they've got a Capcan.
You built it. That's a good habit. If you see a Capcan, make sure someone in the stack let you know. Say it with me, guys. They've got a Capcan, and then it's your own fault if you walk on into it. But of course, I mean, you know, Capcan is one of the most frustrating operators to deal with, and if you don't drone that late on, and you try to make a last-second high-pressure push, you can get yourself into a very nasty position. Drone set up by Jegs, and that's a man you'll watch. And you know what? I was thinking about this. I was speaking to him actually last night. Keep an eye on him and Sleb in a finished duel of some of the best players that we've seen from that region as they go head-to-head in this one.
I'm excited. You've got Jegs playing. He's, reunited with Leader, who we all agreed at one point was the best player in all of Tier 3, and Navi have made some really good pickups. And Demo said it. Jegs could be the difference maker. For Navi, you want to get him firing very quickly. But it is, the way this round you'd expect it to start. A minute gone already. Utility being used to clear that defensive utility. Try to work out where the strengths and weaknesses are, where you can prod and pry. And it does look like a standard defense here, but we're going to see the first nade from below as Jegs will look to just clear some utility weapon, but nothing landed. But still, he's got inside the map.
He's just sending that nade to a default position, clears utility off that T-room, that door. Didn't have any solid information, so it wasn't trying to clear anyone. And again, it's in that position, clears utility, gives that angle that you can work with, forces someone away from it. He'll now try and walk up the black staircase, and he'll put some pressure on. The barbed wire will slow him down for the time being, but he's got Kayak close on that Falcon to help give him a little bit of cover. And Secret has conceded a lot of control here. Jegs is in a good position just to walk up the staircase and be a problem. Leader vaults himself inside of Geisha, and now you begin to feel Navi putting all the pressure, but Secret, they're so far back that the first casualty is going to be Sleb, and I think caught by a nade, and Skinny gets the opening. An instant trade from Savage, another former 10-star man in this one, but Kayak will get one on the Sleb, and a double kill in the round for him, and a minute left in this round, and Navi have an early advantage.
Yeah, 4v3 in the next pick you feel is vital in this scenario. Team Secret desperately want to bring us back into a 3-3 because, the first round can be the tone setter. Savage still dancing around, getting spots out the head, but decides not to take on that engagement with Kayak just yet. 45 seconds to go, so time is starting to move into the favor of Team Secret if they can find the next pick. But Whippet, We've said it before, 40 seconds. This is where decisions need to be made. Astro's going to get one to bring us back into a 3v3, and all Team Secret need to do now is stay calm.
The next pick needs to go for Navi. Skitty will have to dart through that with Midas because his nade gets eaten 20 seconds, and now you begin to feel the advantage swings heavily for Team Secret, but that's going to be Teb who finds Astro, and all it needs to be is a few more picks in favor of Navi, and Teb finds a second one, leaving it all down to Kendrew. Then we'll talk about how he can be the man to make a defining play, but does he have it in him? 10 seconds. Stays calm, stays relaxed. Case hasn't went down, gets one. The Skitty can't make it to better trade, leaving the ace inside of Karaoke last man standing, but it gets the job done. Navi get the opening round of the offense, but it came down to the wire very early between these two teams.
Okay. It's only been one round, but I am starting to get excited for this one with the way that one played out. A trade at the end, leaving it all down to Kayak. But look, Navi win first round. First round one on attack gives them a massive mental advantage inside of this game. Team Secret, they're going to switch that defensive site. They're going to change their setup again. They are bringing Kapkan, who didn't really have a massive impact with his utility, but did manage to find a kill with his gun. And you know, that's another storyline we need to talk about with it. Savage teamed with Jags and Leader earlier last year. Skitty played against them last year in the lower tier system as well. These players know each other inside out, and you know that the amount of information that was probably being passed between them and their teammates about the other team was probably pretty high in the days before this.
I get it. As you said, we got into this one. The amount of talent that is in this game alone that we've seen come from the UK system is pretty insane. You know, Astro, Grubby, Secret, or Savage have all come from that system. You know, Kayak, a long time ago, before he even joined GT, was from that UK system. This is a true kind of show of what that region can do. And they're Slevin on one of those influential power operators I was mentioning. That Mirror is now brought out in play again. How the bands worked out, that's left her in play. And it's an extra piece of that puzzle that Navi now need to solve.
Mira can be just so oppressive to play against, because even if there's nobody playing behind the mirror, the defenders need to, or the attackers need to drone it out. You have to assume that somebody could swing from that position at any point. Now, Mira, maybe not as difficult to play against as she once was, as you can now melee that glass if you get close enough. But with it, getting close enough is always the problem. That's the key word, if you can get there.
Again, normally you'd imagine that these mirror winners can get dealt with down below. Now they're in pretty strong positions here, and that would force Navi downstairs to try and do that vertical clear, which the Secret could read into, but they haven't done that. Not being cased in, and Skitty down below on that nook has essentially free reign inside of house to do whatever he wants. A second nade there, burnt away on that samurai window, leading a lot of utility burnt away. The barbed wire is going to be a bit of a nuisance. Skitty saw that and went, I can't walk up main stairs anymore, and he now spots the Frost and XP, has a nade primed and ready. Now we have silhouettes, we know it won't land, but he'll toss it up, cook perfectly, but no damage found.
No damage found, but it is a position that you can play reverse verticality on now if those defenders look to fall back. But look at the way the defenders are playing. 3 of them outside of sight, not really on a roam, but they're extending themselves far away, far enough away that they can fall back to sight if needs be. We've reached that minute and 20-second mark now where we're getting an idea of what way Navi want to attack, and they've stacked up on the breach. They've tried to melee the window. They finally get it, but here comes the C4. But I think it's been gotten. Kendrew's going to get a kill on the Skitty as well, so a little bit of an issue caused on that main breach. Jeg's coming under fire now too as he steps inside. He's going to find one onto Grubby. He spots the Kapkan. He's going to get another down. He's DBNO as Jegs is taking them apart. Kayak adds another one, and full site controls now being gathered by the Navi boys. 50 seconds to go. Kayak gets another one, and Navi on the fringe of taking a 2-0 lead on attack.
It's down the superpower Slevin, but he can't get it done. Leader shuts it down, and Navi in a round that I was a little bit skeptical of. I saw the overview of that one. They had the breach open, and everyone stacked up ready to just walk in breach, vault in windows. All of Secret was committed to at least thinking about a push from Karaoke and Geisha side. It didn't arrive, and Navi walked in. Key gunfights won by the likes of Jeg, so he walks in Samurai, kills the player all the way by Dragon, gets the person close by display, and then Navi have all that control. The mirror of Slevin left alone to fight against, well, the entire might of the Navi nation crashing down upon him, and, well, Navi find themselves a second round.
And a timeout called by Secret already. Now, I don't mind this. You know the way I feel. I hate it when teams use timeout when it's too late. Is this too early? Only time will tell, but they've saw something that they want to change already. But whip it. That round there, that is Jegs now announced to the big scene. He's got his openers. He's ready to go. Let's see how he grows and progresses.
I think that's more of a glimpse, perhaps. A small view into what Jegs can do. It's not a 1v5 ace clutch against Unlimited on border. Right? That's the Jegs that we know. Now he's just hinting at what he can do. Now a very talented player. He was excited for this one. He was really pumped to get into this game. I was talking to him last night. You know, he's happy. He's enjoying the environment with the side, and they're very pumped up. I mean, they have a lot of confidence. Look at the map they're on. They picked to go to Skyscraper, and they're 2-0 up on the offensive side, which traditionally has been weaker on this map.
So the statistics don't look great for both these sides on this map, but as we've got a little, we had a little whisper in our ear from Demo before, and he was saying that Navi are prepped for this map and they're ready to go, and these attacks so far have been clean. But what I like in any scenario is how a team reacts whenever things don't go to plan. You saw the kill coming into the breach, and things didn't look too good for Navi at that point. What does Jegs do? He vaults in the window, he makes a play, he opens up that whole round for Navi. It's that reaction to whenever things get taken slightly off track that is going to be the difference for every single team in these qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have that one player that can decide to make a play. You know, on Secret, you've got a lot of talent. You've got, I mean, Damo spoke about it. Kendrew, again, when his team is down, plays that kind of support that's going to chomp down a bit and get his team back in the fight. And you have on the kind of an opposite side, Jegs, that will take that early opening initial engagement. And kind of a throwback to the Japan Invitational. Shaiko played on this map in a very similar way, where he kind of just vaulted in windows, played aggressive, and took direct fights, and that really rattled a lot of teams. And if you can get, you know, these early engagements to go in your favor, Navi can really control the pace and tempo of this first 6 rounds on the offensive side.
Yeah, confidence is king, as one of those Mozzie pets is going to be deactivated. I think that's the new way we call it now. You know, you don't lose a drone, you deactivate one of the Mozzie pets.
It's an effective clearing of utility. I mean, they lost the Flores drone, which, you know, not ideal, you know, realistic. Leader, cheeky. Don't try to one-tap through the floor like that one. If you would have landed that one, I would have lost my absolute mind. Jegs taking his time down below as well, just looking for that potential nade. He's spying to that hole that's been made just above bathroom. Spot anything yet to creep his drone further up, and as Leader's on that nook, is that going to be an X factor in this round? Do you think he's going to be able to sneak his way up? The barbed wire is going to be a problem for him to deal with.
Well, Leader on defense is an absolute weapon, and I think we really want to see him take that step on attack, and playing on the nook, I think, is an opportunity that could really enable him. He's got the nades in the back pocket. Jegs has them too. First one's going to be thrown, and he almost hits the target onto the cap can, you know, showing
there it is.
when he's playing. Leader will throw that one. Savage is going to fall. It's a 5v4, and Navi have the advantage once more, and Nook can just flee the scene. Jegs now peeking up through the verticality as well, hoping to find a kill, but it's going to be Skinny who gets that kill onto Kendrew. And let's be real, Jegs landing on Navi could be the best thing that's ever happened Skitty as well.
I mean, again, that's going to be a role change. He's been off. He's now moved away to a little bit away to that second entry. Ruby will find that one to Leader. Gets Navi, or reduces Navi by 1 player. Team Secret 1 player short now. Astro inside of Geisha trying to brawl for his life. 40 seconds left to work with, and Kayak's walked into a Frostmod, I believe, and he's going to get, no! The C4 shot out, Gobi will get that confirmation. Skitty's there for a trade, 3 versus 2. Both remaining members of Secret stacked up and close together, ready to play that trade. Both 100 HP. Now there's 20 seconds left to work with. Navi, do you have the answer? Patience required from both these parties, but everyone's stacked up. They don't check the corner. Teb gets caught out, and this is going to be a nasty one to trade. Jegs can't make it work. 7 finds a second one, and that's going to be an absolute shutout. Team Secret hold the line in the final few moments, and they get themselves their very first round.
And they needed that. And that round looked like it was going very bad at the start. They found themselves down in the numbers, but they clawed their way back in by holding on to barrels. Whip it again, say it with me. They had a frost. They had a cap can. The frost trap blew that attack apart for Navi. And you have to be aware of these things whenever you're coming to play a site like this.
I mean, that's the point, right? Especially when you have these trap hoppers. On a map like Skyscraper, the top floor is pretty easy to divide into 2 unique sections. You've got office, display, and you've got the karaoke side. You've got that connector. We call it toaster in our snacks in our minds. Don't know if anyone else shares that one, but we call it toaster. And it's a very difficult area to transition from fighting inside of terrace into the shrine to making that push. You got a single doorway, it's easy to hold. You want to vault in shrine window, the likelihood is they're going to know you're not safe when you vault in, and in that case, those are frost mats available. Not an easy job to do. Seems like took full advantage. Navi lost that round, but again, still 2-1 on the offensive side. Is good if Navi keep this pressure on. They can get a third round. They'll be sitting pretty on Sky.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, you kind of forget about all past sins if Secret are able to win this round and level the sides again, but I still get the feeling that Navi do look very strong on the attack as we move in. Looking at that attacking lineup that's locked in now, they've got the Doki, they've got, you know, Thermite in there, so they're going to go for the hard breach again. Obviously, we spoke about the buff whenever we were in Challenger League of those impact EMPs. It means that, you know, Thatcher isn't quite needed as much as he was, and it adds a lot of value to the likes of Dokkaebi again. And I think that Dokkaebi, as it stands right now, is a fantastic attacking operator.
But you just saw there on Jegs, by the way, he is wielding the extended barrel on that G36. He's opted to have that extra little bit of damage, that extra 15% increase on his shots. It kind of reduces it down by one shot they get someone, so if you can't hit the heads as good as Jegs, maybe you can throw that on for a few more extra body shots, and I'm kind of looking at you with that one, Gibby.
Siege tips with Whippet. Join us anytime where we can give you tips on how to be a mediocre player at best.
Oh, at best is really pushing it, I think.
Well, we're mediocre casters too, so it plays out nicely as Astro is going to just get his head decapitated.
He's not mediocre, he's a skinny fella. He's pretty good. That's a pretty good.
He was a great pickup. You know, M&M Academy all the way through to tier 1, and his numbers have been incredible. But that's Astro down. That's the Jaeger gone. Of course, his utility is going to be down already. But we're seeing Nook being brought every single time by Navi and having an impact.
I mean, again, we just went through a stage where Nook wasn't the most, you know, the most utilized. I mean, if you throw back to Berlin, we saw every single team when available would bring the Nook for that one because of our impact. Our guns lost a little bit of stability, not as accurate as it used to be with a few recoil changes, but still, those nades are effective, and we'll lose Slevin. That will be leader. He'll grab that kill, and that's going to be Savage. He'll try and swing, but no, James gets his own teammate. We'll count that one, finds a double. Savage off the board as well as Skitty. That Nook, as we mentioned, no longer available. 4 versus 2. A lot of times Navi get themselves in the disadvantageous position, but now can they adjust to that middle stage, that late round? And no, they certainly can. Templify one of the groupie, leaving Kendrew all alone in 1 versus 4. Does he have it in him to get this one done? Navi will certainly will hunt. They know they've only got one bit of prey left to find. They have all the time to do so. Jegs is cautious of a flank, and they're taking it slow, which is nice for a team that has this extra level of confidence. They're not rushing into it, and Andrew will get on the tab. He'll rotate around all the way to display. Surely not, Gibby. Surely not.
Well, he's been in this position before. We've seen Kendrew win these in the past. He's moving around, creating a little bit of a puzzle, but Jegs reads it perfectly and takes him down. And after that round, I'm sure Kendrew shakily takes the glasses off and says, boys, you can't keep leaving me in these 1v4s.
How many 1vx's has he now been left in? It feels like if there's a man to survive till the very bitter end of a round, it's gonna be Kendrew. I mean, if there's a man who can make something happen in the very bitter end of a round, it might be him as well. But now they lead 3-1. Secret, they had that timeout. They stemmed the bleeding. They got their first round back. They looked to be a little bit more kind of on it. Now, they fired back. They got that round advantage, that 2-round lead back. Secret, no more timeouts. You have to fly completely solo. Twister, your coach, can no longer stop and try and direct the flow of traffic. What answers do they have? We'll go to that tertiary site down below in Restaurant and Barbecue. Can they hold on against the mighty Navi?
Well, they need to do something. They've only won 1 defensive round so far. Navi, you could argue, could easily be 4-0 up at this point as well, when you consider that it was, what, a 4v2, 3v2 scenario at one point, and it was just a very good hold. Now, looking at this hold, bringing in the castle, it does cut out those avenues for the attackers to make their way, and you're creating a puzzle and you're creating safety for your defenders on this extended roam. Looking at the operators that are being brought on attack, you don't really have a lot of opportunity to get rid of that soft breach. You do have the Gone 6 on Lion, but unless you want to use hard breach utility, it's going to be tough to clear those castles without giving away a lot of noise by meleeing them.
This is a lineup that the castle is very much going to disrupt the flow of. Again, this is going to... These castles will direct the Navi pressure to kind of where they want, because you don't have the resources. You've got Gone 6s, you don't want to use your Selma charges, you have Habana, I guess, but more valuable resources to use those on pressuring around. But Jags, he bolts on in, just outside delivery. Himself a way out will be met by the first of many of those castle barriers. He'll drone underneath it to try and see what control he can gather, and he has an aid in the back pocket. He can pop this open, sees a shield, and we know no one's behind it. He doesn't, but more importantly, spots the vert, knows the problem, and the rest of the team will try and clear that and apply pressure directly so they can get that entryway working down below.
Yeah, I like the way that they've set up defensively for Team Secret. They've created a real puzzle. And I want to see Navi break it down. They're actually, you look at the way Navi are pushing, this is exactly the way Team Secret want them to come from. This is the direction that they feel is important, but you get the vibe that this fight with Leader in and around Drub, that toaster position again, could be important. And Leader's going to fall back, and he's lucky because there was an LOS on him for just a moment, and one of those EMPs are going to be wasted. Second one thrown again, and oh no, Geisha's going to become an almost impossible position to take away now without using your gun skill.
I mean, they can't get open that wall now. Now they're forced to try and fight that cave with that TCSG. Not a shotgun you want to brawl with. A drone will be sent and sacrificed to Lord Slebum himself, and he'll lock this down. Navi now have a really difficult problem to solve. You might have Jegs, who has that mechanical ability, and he was down below in delivery, but he's decided to ascend the stairs and try and help clear this player. No footholds in the drum as well. And Navi, they've run out of steam. They've run out of momentum. They have stalled in this round. Kendrew will take the first damage delivered, but look at the top of your screen. A minute left, under a minute, and well, Jegs walks in the drum. He'll play a dangerous game of Ring Around the Rosie. They don't know each other's there. Astro plays them perfectly and finds the opening pick. And now all pressure arrives. Kayak doesn't have line of sight. The long angle isn't there. Teb gets slaughtered by Savage, and now it's going to be a problem. The trade will arrive, at least a DBNO. Can Navi find the answer? Can they brute force this one as Leader gets that confirmation? And here they come.
You gotta be careful. I don't know if there's still a defensive presence on the top floor, but it'll be Groovy swinging around. He's going to take down Skitty, putting us in a 4 versus 2. This is the strongest position Team Secret have been all day, and now Leader will wait. There's only 15 seconds to go. Navi need to make something happen as Kayak steps in towards Bar. Not a single Team Secret player revealing their position. They've got another player behind Bar. Kayak's got the case, but he's too far away to have an impact. Grubby's going to take down Leader, and Team Secret pull one back. They are going to get the kills. Grubby has a big round, but Secret needed that.
Really nice round from Secret there. The setup was absolutely done perfectly, and kind of the key moment, or one of the defining moments of that round, was the fact that they couldn't get that Geisha wall open. The K-Claw was just in the wrong position. They didn't have a solid base of information to clear away that with the impact EMPs. And of course, with that only 2-meter proximity, when you throw it against the wall, you need to be rather precise with it, and they just weren't. So no access to Geisha, no power control, and then everything had to rely on Jegs getting the pick inside of Drum, which would have put more pressure on the Geisha. Astro won that fight, and all from there, Navi began to crumble and stall out. But final round of the defensive side for Secret, can they get themselves in a half at level, or will Navi grow back to that 2-round advantage?
Yeah, if I'm not wrong with it, they actually put the Electroclaw on the drum wall. So with the range of those impact EMPs, it was almost impossible to get. And you didn't have a twitch. There was no way to clear that position. I like the way Navi, or the Team Secret, actually stalled out that attack.
Yeah,
yes,
you see it. I'm sorry, do you see? Oh, come on,
the bees
Kayak.
were nearly there.
Kayak!
The bees. You know, we need more bees in our lives.
We don't really.
Save the bees.
It's again, I was about to mention an operator. I was like, oh, that's a little bit off meta, a little bit unusual from Kayak. Oh, he's 6-picked away. Okay. Bomb peek from Groovy. Tries to get something early cooking. But unfortunately, no chefs in the kitchen for that one. I like the aggression though. I like the attempt.
Yeah, you got to try and make something happen. It is Navi. If they get this round on attack, they have a 4-2 split going into defense, which usually is a foregone conclusion that Navi will take the map. But it's me and you casting, so we can't say anything's a foregone conclusion at this point. But this round does have really important impact on the rest of this game. Normally we say round 7 is the big one, but if Navi get a 4-2 split on attack, it could be curtains for Secret. But the only positive for Secret is this is Navi's map.
Yeah, I mean, this is the map that Navi had the confidence to bring, even considering their low pick rate, low win rate on this previously stage 3. So good bit of confidence from them. For Secret, if they get themselves level, it's not over yet because, you know, we've seen Navi be dominant on the offensive side. It's not going to be easy, as Savage literally removes Leader from the face of the earth. Bye-bye, Leader. He's gone. And the opening pick goes for Secret. And this is a problem now. Navi, already early in the round, a minute 40 left, have one player down, and they've lost the Thatcher. The EMPs have been used, or at least one of them was. Still, high impact utility off the board.
Yeah, it's not the player you want to lose. You don't want to lose Leader. You don't want to lose Thatcher. That's another very big pick in this one for Team Secret. Now, Skitty is playing low. They still have a lot of nades for in the back pocket that they can use to cause some havoc up in and around the site. Now, the first one's going to be thrown. Once again, Silhouette say there's nobody in that position, but he also lets the player on the stairs know that Skitty ain't far away. Barbed wire will be the cue to swing if they want to pick up that kill. And now we're seeing it was Jake's droning.
Yeah, he's been doing a fair bit of droning. I mean, he's not just an absolute gunner. He is a very good team player as well. He'll send that one off when no nade connects again. These are thrown reasonably blind by Navi. Again, it's difficult. You're trying to throw these to default positions, but they've mostly had no solid information. So that's high impact utility off the board for no real effect. Yes, you've made a hole in the floor. You can play around, but Ruby will find a second for Secret. That's Skitty. And Team Secret playing a much more reserved style of play. They're not giving away picks. They're not peeking in the Navi. And this is causing problems. But doesn't seem to matter for Kayak, as he's going to try and stick a plant. The Yokai drone right above him will stun him away. And a player down below has all that information. He'll look to get aggressive. Find some damage to Astro, but look at the top of your screen. Give me 15 seconds, and Alvi have stalled once again. He'll vault on in the drum, but that will be Ted slain by Slevin. And Kayak, timer hits red. Probably will find one more. He's all alone. He'll get one to Savage, but it's only a formality. Is that going to be Grubby? He finds one more. 3-3 at the end of the split.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Team Secret needed. It's now game on. 3-3 the split you normally see lately. So after a very impressive start by Navi, Secret have clawed their way back on. And so now all of a sudden, round 7 does take on a very important field in this fixture. So we've seen what Navi can bring on attack. Can Team Secret match the aggression? Can they match the map control they were able to exert in early rounds? Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Side swap, round 7. I often call it one of the most important and influential rounds in the game of Siege, and even more so when the sides come in level at the swap. Navi on the defense. This is where you'd imagine they'll be comfortable. Now, they looked well rehearsed in the offense, but until Secret started to play a little bit slower, a little bit more reserved, a little bit more passive, that caused problems for Navi. What can they do now? How will they play? Will they play with an aggressive style of defense, or will they sit back and let the map do a lot of work for them? Similar designs of setups, not too much variation from these sides, and not really expecting it. Their extension towards Office. We know what they're going to do here. How does Secret deal with it?
Sometimes when you see a big extension like this, going direct and fast can have an impact, but the lineup that Team Secret have isn't really quite set up to do that.
I mean, they have a sense.
Yeah, and I was just about to bring up the sense pick. I like the sense pick here because that can just cut off so many lines of sight. And I think once people really start realizing how to use sense properly in a competitive setting, could be a very powerful operator.
Sense is always going to be, to me, a little bit of a pocket strat operator. It's not going to be the most effective in all situations, especially how difficult it can be. Get the RU projections to go the way you want, but it creates that level of chaos that certain teams might enjoy. You see a Sense barrier come towards you, and if you're not Warden, you might get worried there's a glass behind it, or who knows how many attackers might just send it on through. Savage try and look for something through the wall, but nothing connects, nothing lands, and Secret taking their time in the early stages. Lots of angles set up and to be held by Navi. Slevin out on that balcony, cautious of a jump out from Shrine, but no one's even considering it for the time being, and the Claymore prepped as well to hold his flank. Damn! Oh! Takes a beating from that one, left on a single point of HP from down below. And look at this, the yellow pings. This is a massive distinction. Navi didn't have that information when they were trying to go for these nades from below, but Team Secret do.
No kill, but the shield is cleared, so that is still a pretty good nade to throw. Groovy is going to throw another nade. This one ain't going to hit any pay dirt this time. So now, with a minute and 30 left to go, we've hit the halfway point in the round. Now people are going to get back on the drones. You look at the fact that they have a lot of information available to them. Groovy's got one in the back pocket, Astro the same, Savage the same, Kendrew still has both. So they can effectively drone out the site now and work out where this Navi defense is strong. And that is just where Azami can be so frustrating for these attackers.
Uses a Selma charge to burn it away as well. A second Kiba sent out, and it'll keep Jegs alive for a little bit longer. And there's that Oryu projection, but it bounces the wrong way. Well, Kendry might have wanted to go fast. He's going to get stalled out by his own utility. Secret lose players in that flurry of kills. It's going to be a 4 versus 3, but make it a 3 versus 3 as Jegs falls to Savage inside of Drum. 40 seconds, and the Kiba barrier slows it down just a little bit longer. Chaos clears. Kendry sees the openings. The long hallway reveals itself to him, but what can he find? Any Navi players? Well, that yellow ping might be all they need. And no way into sight as temp finds on the Kendry. 30 seconds, the case is cold. Grubby recovers it, but he's forced to brawl. Skitty takes a beating as well, but Navi, in terms of HP, aren't doing too well. Secret or Savage will have to force himself in. Grubby gets one, but he's all alone now. 20 seconds. And he isolates these ones. They know any information. The default camera spots them, and Navi have all the time to work with. Surely they can close this one out.
Well, Grubby's been on a bit of a burner so far, and now he's going to go for the plant, and that noise will draw the Navi players his direction. Leader will peek one side, waste the smoke. Grubby finds one, that's the triple, and now he's on for a 4K to win the round. 30 seconds now is all he has to eat off of this clock and stay alive to make sure that they win the round.
Single bullet.
He's holding along.
A single bullet from the ARX, that's all he needs. This is going to be an unwinnable fight, surely, Skitty.
He misses the first one, but he's going to queue up the second one. He's going for the defuse. He spots out the shoulder, and there is a round 1 for Team Secret, who have suddenly found a bit of form. And Groovy, well, he has definitely found his groove.
Well, he has. That round should not have been won. Very unfortunate moment. The smoke throws that toxic canister, and as he throws it, the animation, kind of raises him up a little bit. He gets caught out from it, loses his life, forces Skitty, who was already on low HP, into a 1v1 against an ARX wheeling Yana. The hands of Grubby, not going to be the most desirable situation to find yourself in. A single bullet from the ARX was enough to send Skitty to the ether, and now Team Secret, for the very first time in this series, lead a map against Navi.
It's been a while. It's taken 7 rounds to get the lead, and Navi looked so strong in the early stages. Secret took the early timeout. They got instant rewards. Lost the round after that, but since then, they have been very, very impressive. And, we spoke about all the chopping and changing both of these sides have done. One change we didn't talk about, you mentioned his name a little bit earlier, Twister coming in as the coach for Team Secret. He's very experienced, he knows how he wants to play, and he has had a full stage almost to just mold this team into playing the type of siege he wants. And it's starting to show an impact in these last few rounds.
A full stage, and after stage 3, getting ready for these quals, they've been boot camping. And Twister's been over there, boot camping with them. He's come all the way from Brazil to be with his boys for this event, for this chance to qualify for SI, and he would have this team very well regimented. And if they can just kind of stick to the plan, and they're doing a good job of executing it so far, remember, this is Navi's map, they now lead on it, they can continue this pressure. It could be a very big kind of upset result in this series. Next, the thermite charge goes off. Of course, it's Kendry on that thermite, and that's going to be that VIP wall now opened up as they can begin to apply pressure directly to it. Skitty fortified up in Shrine, 2 ADS and a shield to keep him in place for the time being as Jegs falls back, and realistically, Secret, without even having to enter the building, have cleared the entire eastern side. They can walk in, take control, and then try and crack the puzzle of crossing over in the drum, and that's all they need to do to get that significant pressure.
Yeah, with only a minute gone too, but Jegs can find himself in a big gunfight, spots out the toes. But there goes that first Kiba barrier. Another one thrown just to make this angle a very difficult one for Groovy to fight. So we've got ourselves a bit of a standoff over here by the entrance to barrels. Savage is going to go help Groovy out for just a little bit of a moment, but it's a very horizontal approach that we're seeing from Team Secret in the early stages, and there's Jegs taking down Groovy, and he gets the Kiba barrier off, and that slows down the push once more. That's a long oh no, that's just about gets it, so now they're going to be able to get some control on the Geisha, but will this trick work? I don't think so.
I think it might have been semi-successful. Skitty in a very difficult position now. His shield now gone. His ADS is burnt. And Astro knocking on the door. He'll try and drop prone, but Leader's there for a trade. And that's going to be his covered SMG-11. If you want anyone on that weapon, it will be Leader. He'll smoke up the doorway. No entry for you. And pressure around Geisha. Savage has no direct way in. That trick denied the second stage of that Selma. He tossed another one to try and clear that central panel, but it got caught by an ADS, and the third one as well! Savage, you've got no way in. Time to try and vault your way to terrace and brawl your way through Jegs. He's got that Kiba set up at leg height. He's going to try and peek wide, sees the knees, and finds Savage. Kendrew gets that instantaneous trade, knocking on the door of T-Room. He'll try and waltz his way in, but does he know how close Leader is? But Slevin will fall victim to Teb, leaving it all down to Kendrew in a 1 versus 3 on that Thermite. He knows, or at least has an inkling, that someone is playing daringly close to him. He'll try and walk on in, but he'll get caught out from behind. Leader swings from cover and gets them. Navi get us back level 4 rounds apiece.
And just another round that Kendrew finds himself in a 1v3 or more, and Navi are able to clutch the round out. 4-4 reads the scoreline as we move into round 9, and we go to Exhibition Office. Mira will be brought in play again, and we're going to see a Rooney brought in by Ted. Castle, of course, the defenders only have 1 second left to change the lineup, and Kayak gets Valk at the last moment. Looking at the attacking lineup by Team Secret, I know that they can change the whole roster, but based on the site they're going to be pretty happy with what they're bringing in the early stages.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is a pretty solid lineup, realistically. You've got your option, you've got the Harbridge contingency. Secret got a good lineup available to them. I see Skitty on the castle. Now, we saw how effective that was for Secret, controlling the pace, the flow, where we saw Navi go on their offense. A sledge is available. It's getting brought out. Astro's on it, so those barriers will have less of a direct effect. This time in Secret won't feel as boxed in as Navi did in that round. I get it, but still, factor to consider. They've got that soft breach. You have a little bit more of a well-rounded offensive lineup that they can use to utilize it. An extension all the way to Geisha, using those barriers as well to help reinforce it. Navi extending deep.
I like the extension, but you gotta be smart about when to collapse back towards the site. Jumping in nice and early in Bathroom will be Gruby, who's had a big impact on this ground floor already. Will he add some more? Well, at the moment, he's going to get on the drone to work out if there's any roamers that they need to clear. But it is a very horizontal defense that we're seeing from Navi. No real presence on the ground floor. They have set up shop on the top, and they don't want to let Secret in.
No one wants to even consider this, and I mean, this wide extension with a good fortification to try and slow this down as much as possible. A good round, but again, that might invite Secret to go way more direct in this situation. And Grubby down below could be a very difficult thing to deal with. If he just gets someone to drone the player in Geisha and can avoid getting caught out from the hatch, of course, he might be able to clear that with an aid below as Astro gets the opening pick on the Kayak, and he gets it from VIP wall on the rappel. An interesting choice to duel with that one, Kayak, but the early pick goes to Secret, and pressure mounting directly. You might extend all you want towards Geisha, but if no one goes there, it's wasted resources and wasted manpower, and that might be what Secret's relying on.
Yeah, Team Secret doing a very good job in the early stage of this one. Now they turn their attention to that wall, which was soft this whole time as well, so Jags needs to just watch his back now. He's playing in and around the desk. He hears the wall popping. He's going to look that direction now. 2 players in sight. You've got the mirror, which can give you a little bit of information. And Jags is going to get aggressive now as he pushes close to the breach. But he's making a lot of noise. They're going to know that he's there, so he's just going to keep a barrier that up. And somehow, well, I was about to say almost dodges a bullet, but gets caught as he tried to fall back in behind the bomb chassis. 5-3 man advantage now for Team Secret, and this approach of leaving it soft ain't working for Navi, because there's going to be another falls, but there's Leader on the fence.
Well, it's going to be down the Leader all alone, a single point of HP as his teammates in DBNO. We've seen him pull off heroics before, but I have a feeling this might be a little bit too much to ask. The C4 gets shot out mid-air. Kendrew should stick this plant. One player vaults inside of Drum and gets him. Slevin shuts it down. And Team Secret restored their lead, and, well, this setup, we talked about how it could be effective. The castle getting brought out, a massive extension could be a difficult puzzle for Secret. It wasn't at all, actually. It was quite easy for Secret to solve it, because they kind of just got the early pick on Kayak, walked in the site, and won their ones. And Navi have requested their timeout to get 40 seconds to take a breather, relax, try and regroup themselves. What do they need to change, Gibby?
They need to start winning those engagements. They need to stop trying to be too clever. I think, I don't know what you think about it, but leaving that wall directly in the site soft, you could see what they were trying to do with Azami and Jags, but it really didn't pay out. Sometimes they're called default strats for a reason because they work with. But what do you think, though? Do you think that leaving that wall soft was too much of a mistake?
I mean, I think the wall being less soft is a result of a bigger evil in this one. It was a massive extension of site committed to holding that geisha side very heavily. It's why you didn't have the 2 reinforcements that you needed. I mean, there was nothing available, nothing left for those 2 walls. It was a little bit trying to be too clever, as you said. Secret read into it. They saw what was going on. They've had a very good drone network as well. I mean, we talked about how when Navi were on the offense, they were down below trying to use those nades. They were tossed kind of blindly. They were tossed in the default areas, just hoping, expecting them to land and get picks. Secret have always, whenever they went for up nades, they had the drone. They had information. They had the yellow ping. So far, I'm suspect to believe Secret have got a very good and very well set up drone network across this. Having Solace banned lets you do that, and that would make sense considering it was Secret that banned away the Solace. So they might be very much kind of aligned with their information game, and it's causing problems for Navi so far. They know exactly what the setup is, they know exactly how to counter it. Very good calls from IGLing, of course, from Secret. Navi now trail once again by 1 round. Do they get themselves level in round 10? They certainly have the potential, so we're going to go back to offense.
Back to office this time around, and I'm looking to see where the key changes are on this defensive setup this time around. But the only good thing for both these sides with it, and I think we haven't really touched on it at all yet, is the fact that this is an upper bracket match. You lose, it's not necessarily over yet, but if you lose today, it does mean that going into tomorrow, you will likely have to play an extra game.
You see, Kendrew's deploying a little bit of technology here. Kendrew's got a little bit of technology he's ready to deploy. He's on that Amaru, and I have a feeling he wants to go up the hatch inside of office. He's got the case in hand, and Savage will try and take this fight by VIP. He'll use a second Selma, which might get tricked away, and Grubby will find that nade on the Jegs. That might have been tossed blindly. Who had information? Who knows? But it's going to be the opening pick inside of Secret, and already lots of pressure down below. They haven't telegraphed what their move is yet, and they just get a little bit of information. If you can figure out if anyone's inside of office, which the wall's left soft, again, they now know the mirrors there. Surely they don't send the Mario up the hatch at this stage.
I want it so bad.
Yes,
but
of course
I'm
we
not
do.
Gonna lie. I want it so bad. They've got 3 players getting ready to push in. Groovy's going to jump and vault his way on in, and there's a lot of utility in that position to just slow the push. The barbed wire, the alibi clone just may reveal the position. There's the vault on it for Groovy. Kendrew did go up through the hatch, and that case is going down. Leader tosses the C4 through. Boom goes the dynamite, and down goes Kendrew. 3 versus 4 now. This is a massive round. Now they're going for another plant. Sleben went for the early approach, but there's Savage wrapping around to get 1 tab. Brings us back to a 3 versus 2. And suddenly we can breathe again for just a moment. That was a very aggressive start, but all is quiet once more. As really, this decision has to be made with it.
I mean, for Secret right now, they just need to try and get this case down and hold the line. Hold rotates up, they'll get 1 on the tab, and that will Astro who picks that one up. He'll look for a second only. No, Skitty's out by VIP. Gets 1 the Secret. 2 more to find. What can he do here? 30 seconds till we hit critical. UMP in hand, and that's going to be Robbie. He walks in the ARX, and Team Secret get themselves a 2-round advantage. And, well, the technology was deployed. Kendrew, I don't think he went up the hatch. No, he didn't. He just decided to walk through the soft wall opened by a sledge and try and plant close to mirror window. Leader was savvy to it, but unfortunately, Team Secret embraced the chaos, embraced that moment of madness on the top floor, and they got themselves to map point here on Sky, which is Navi's pick.
So, this is a big round for Navi. Every round is from this point out, and if you are Team Secret, you know that you're guaranteed 2 match points attempts. So if it doesn't go right this time, you get 1 more try. But Navi need to now be perfect. They need to start getting that early aggression going, like Skitty going 9 and 10. But he has died in every single round so far in this one.
Not great. Not great. You don't want to die every single round. Maybe 2 or 3 is forgivable. Every single hurts. But for Navi, right, they've really struggled on the defensive side. A little bit against the script to how many people might perceive this map. I mean, if you look in the North America region in particular, NA really struggles to attack this map. It's just, it's something they struggle as a region to do. Navi struggle to defend. A little bit of those differences, inter-regional moments, as we look towards the international event, and very, very soon, as SI rolls around the corner. Secret have been very good so far. They fought against a very difficult opening half. They had that resolve, they had that resilience, they adapted perfectly. And now, Navi on the ropes.
And Secret are the ones throwing the punches. So can they go and take this to their map? If they can win Navi's map, they know for a fact they're going to their destination to try win it out and secure a spot in that upper bracket final. So Groovy runs onto site, realizes that it's pretty much completely clear if he wants to push up these stairs. And you can see the temptation is there, but they want to do it. They've got everybody moving in that direction, and there's the signal. Grubby moves up nice and quick. Karaoke is completely vacant. Kayak eats a ton of damage this time around. Skitty Spring, but that wall being reinforced means that they have to go through the choke point. That is those two doors to site. Now, Astro still playing below, looking for some intel, looking for some pings so that he can use that last nade to remove a vital player. Here's going to be, it's thrown us a little bit too late to the party, and that's not going to find anyone whatsoever. And look at the Navi hit. You know, but Kayak 1 HP, Skitty not looking great as well. They've kind of got themselves stuck at this point on top of the stairs.
Once again, another deep extension of weight on the site on this map has left Navi vulnerable. Astro down below, going fishing. Who will cross inside of Shrine and Nasty angle and Nasty rotate the hold. But Secret, as much as that early aggression got them in a position where they can put pressure on site directly, they've not been able to capitalize. We hear some Harbridge going off, and Kendry finds a pick onto Leader. Your clutch factor, that X-Star player now gone, and the breach has been opened up. Kendry takes more damage through that small angle on that Osa shield, and he's waiting for the call, the information to arrive so he can vault on in. But as he vaults that, he will be vulnerable. For a brief moment, Teb will get one to Grubby, and Kendry gets himself in. He'll put this shield down, and Secret should be able to stick this plan. If Navi let this go down, it might all be over for this round.
No C4s either. This could be Secret winning the first map. They're slamming an Astro, finding themselves one each to leave it all down to Skitty and Jags. That ain't going to be too quick. The same combination once again managed to clutch that one out. But Whip It, whenever they were down and out, when things looked bad for Team Secret, Grubby was the one that answered the call, and he got some massive picks, and he clawed Secret back into the game, and they went ahead to look almost untouchable over the next few rounds.
We talked a lot about Jegs before we got into this one, but it was Grubby that was able to have that massive impact. 13-6, and Secret get the victory on Navi's map pick. What a performance from them, and honestly, for a team that a lot of people might have kind of billed as the underdogs, they've showed that, you know, that all the hype around Navi might not be kind of worth it if they could do that on their own map.
Well, they're just one map away, Whip It, from going through to that upper bracket final. So, do you think they won their own map, or do you think we're going to see all three?
Oh, I want to see all three. But I tell you what, I cannot wait to see what our analysts think about that one, so we'll go to a quick break, and then we'll be with them.